Well, for some of you, it's me for the first time. Hi, my name's Lavalda Vincenzi. I'm not going to assume everybody knows who I am. Welcome to this session. It's all about building tomorrow, the future of construction. So if that's what you came to listen to, you're 100% in the right place. As we know, today we're talking about a sector that's responsible for over a third of global emissions, but it's also got massive, massive potential to reshape our future. Whether it's materials or the mindset, building to business models, we have an opportunity to see how we build is actually changing. In this session, we're going to have three distinct segments. The first is a keynote that is very much rooted in a bold, on the ground innovation. So we'll see what's happening right here, right now. The second is a snapshot into how people really think. We're going to have a global premiere of some data that's brand new to the scene. And finally, we'll be ending with a panel that looks at how to scale solutions in this modern day. So first, let's kick off with something that's deeply local and globally relevant. Our first speaker is talking about two of the world's biggest challenges. The first being plastic pollution, and the second being affordable housing. His company transforms plastics and waste material into low-carbon buildings, making construction faster, cheaper, and of course, much more sustainable, especially in the global south. And just to add to it, they're also working with a strong focus on empowering women and communities along the way. So please give a Change Now warm round of applause for the founder and CEO of Kubik, Kidus, Asfaw.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kidus Asfaw. I'm the founder and CEO of Kubik. And I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm actually going to talk about me. One of the things that is not said enough is about how hard it is to build a startup that is trying to make money, but also trying to improve people's lives. So let me tell you mine. It all started off with my parents. I'm born to a family that really invested in their kids' education, but also into making sure that they see the world, and that's exactly what I did. For over 7 years, I worked at an organization called UNICEF and spent my life thinking about how we can innovate through technology and make children's lives better. I traveled to over 40 countries, and what I can see was a booming, very young population all over the world, and it was highly urbanizing. So one of the questions that I would continuously ask myself is, are we doing the right thing to improve the future? Which would mean improving cities. Coincidentally, there was a moment where I turned on the news and I saw this image. This is a landfill, only a kilometer away from where I grew up in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It's called Koshe. And it amassed so much trash, it actually turned into an avalanche. It killed over 100 people. And one of the things that I continue to ask myself is, how is it that I've never seen this place before? How come there's so much plastic? And how come nobody was doing anything about it? And this question continued to ponder in me. And there was a moment for work when I went to Côte d'Ivoire in West Africa, and I met my mentor, and we kept talking about this. And one of the things that he said is, well, you've seen a problem, how do we start with a solution? Fast forward 2 years later, we had built an entire project that had built 500 classrooms made out of plastic waste all over Côte d'Ivoire. What you see behind you is trash. Now, as many things would go, people would say, this is successful, we've done our part, and we'll give ourselves a pat on the back. I actually got deeply annoyed that we weren't doing more of this. So after more discussions with my mentor, I decided to leave UNICEF and dedicate my life to doing more of this type of work. And that's when, 3 years ago, I visited that same place that I saw in the news back home, Koshe. Nothing had really changed. It was still a very big heap of trash, with more coming in, But one of the things that I didn't notice was the people that actually live and work in Koshi. We're talking about over 2,000 women. Most of them are girls. And what they do is scavenge for pieces of trash that they can actually turn into cash. Now, my UNICEF brain made me think these girls are desperate, these girls need help. So I would go and actually talk to them. And one of the things that I realized is they're not looking for help, they're looking for business. They were actually trying to negotiate on how much I can buy and at what price. And it actually made me realize this is what dignity looks like. It's when someone feels proud to actually do their job and contribute to the world. So I decided to call my company Kubik a company that is building dignity. And what many people would think is that this is a company that all of a sudden started to raise money, built a product, it's scaling, and everything is great. It actually started like this. I was very lonely. This is an actual picture where I was pitching to an investor from a landfill, presenting on something that I have not built a product for in a company that had no people in it. This is how an entrepreneur starts a company, and not enough people talk about it. But I want to talk to you about how we got to here, being recognized as Time 100's most influential companies in climate, raising the largest ever round for Ethiopia in a startup, meeting a president that governs a country here, and also being named the world's best startup of the year 2 years ago. It starts with people. Starting with talking to people that you can convince to join your mission. That's exactly what I did. People that were working at places like Pepsi, leading supply chain for an entire country, working at Deutsche Bank, making a lot of money, but somehow daring to do exactly what I did, which is change people's lives. And over time, this group of people grew. And one of the things that was very distinct about us is we built it over family. Most of us have kids. And one of the reasons why we all were doing this is because we wanted the future of our children to look different. And what you see here is the first ever building that we made in Ethiopia. And we had our kids paint it because we wanted to make sure that this is an image of what the future could look like. This all sounds great. But let me tell you of 3 times when people have said this could never work. People never thought that we can build a factory. What we did is we built the first ever state-of-the-art recycling factory in Ethiopia that is transforming 5,000 kilos of plastic waste every single day. People said you will never be able to get enough trash, and no, you won't be able to help those poor women on it because the business will never make sense. We were able to equip every single woman in 2 landfills with PPEs, give them decent jobs, and there's 600 of them today that are suppliers and not scavengers for us. People told us no one will buy this. People will never build with it. Well, we're building cafes, we're building bars, we're building houses, schools, clinics, and nobody will know that this is made out of trash because it was designed not to. So as a company, we continue to go against the grain of doing things that people told us we can't because we believed in what the future should be and we worked hard at it. But I want to tell you a very deeply personal story for me, which is about these 2 men. The person that you see on your right is the mayor of a city in eastern Ethiopia. His name is Elias. And the person on the left is one of our investors. His name is Mayar. And this is a story of how they met. I brought Mayar to Ethiopia for the first time, and I took him straight to a landfill. And I introduced him to the mayor of the person who manages it. They hit it off. They were talking about how things could look different. But the thing is, Mayar lives in Switzerland, Elias is in Harar. How are they ever going to do anything together? Well, as part of that conversation, they found themselves going to this public park, and Mayar started to meet every single child that is there playing soccer, playing basketball. And that's when he said, I want me, Elias, and you to build the first ever public library made out of trash. And that's what we're doing today. sometimes when you're starting a company, you have an idea of how it would work, but there's so many things that go against you. You don't understand how you're going to bring people around along with your journey. And these two people that should have never met, that should have never done anything that impacted people's lives, are doing it today. And they're doing it not because of Kubik, but because of a mission of changing what the future could look like. But let me end this around the future. These are kids that were at this park the moment that we broke ground to build this library. And they were not happy. They kept coming to me and saying, why are you doing this? And I'm like, but we're building a new library. Isn't that really fun? They said, no. We don't want you to take away that tree behind us. This is a tree that we play around. This is a tree that our parents used to play around. And this is a tree that my grandparents have talked about. We do not want you to touch this. This is a moment that I realized that, when you are doing good, you have to consider about the people and the future that you're doing this for. And what we did is we redesigned the entire library around this tree. The reason why I find this tree really interesting is it really resonates with a journey of many social entrepreneurs, and it comes down to endurance. When people think about endurance, they think about it as just overcoming hard stuff. I actually believe it's how you turn that hard stuff into glory. And that's what I believe that we're doing at Kubik today, and what I deeply believe that many social entrepreneurs are doing around the world. I hope you're part of that story too. Thank you.